Are you feeling classy today? Sit down, pour a glass of wine, and listen to Hoppe Hour.
What's up? This is Hoppe Hour. You guys like the instrumental I'm doing? Get what I did there? Because I wanted to use classical music. Because the show's called Hoppe Hour. But it's a take on the thing Happy Hour, where you get drunk every day at 5 p.m. Maybe on beer, maybe on wine, maybe on champagne. You know the local bars have those deals. So I thought, I don't want to use a heavy metal instrumental to open up the show, or a techno one like from my other show, Hoppe and Super Rich. I'm like, how can I make it intriguing? I literally typed in on YouTube, classical music, techno. And this is what I found, Beethoven techno. Let's just listen to 10 seconds of this. This just makes you want to go to the opera and pop some Molly. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Alright, you want to get involved with the show? I promise you, it's not too hard. Tweet at me live, because this is a podcast, so we don't really have the phone option. It's at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and you can comment live if we are Facebook friends. I'm just so intrigued by this beat, never used it before. So my other show, Hoppe and Super Rich, is with my co-host, Ryan Super Rich, Ryan Risky, and Timmer. And Super Rich reads the news, and I rant. Risky chimes in with his wacky comments, and Timmer's our video guy and the voice of reason, since he's a bit older than us. But with Hoppe Hour, this is going to be me either ranting while I read a news article, or it's going to be me playing a news clip. And I'm going to pause it and give my take on it. And the first thing that is on the agenda today really, really hits home. And now, I don't want to depress you guys, since this is supposed to be Happy Hour, all exciting, but my dad passed away in November. He was diagnosed with leukemia around May 2013, I think it was the 25th, and he was doing really well the first year. I mean, he was in remission, he was happy, this and that, and then things got bad around September 2014 rather, and he ended up dying the day before Thanksgiving last year. So whenever I hear the word cancer, or I hear about cancer survivors, especially cancer survivors, I get a little bit jealous, you know what I mean? Or when I see that, the name's not coming to my mind, but the guy from ESPN, the legend who died of cancer, my heart just feels for the family, because I know what it's like. Well, I found this article of this dirty, rotten witch replaced the W with a B. You will not believe what she had the nerve to do, what she had the audacity, what she had the guts to do. When you are going through cancer, I didn't go through it, but I saw my dad gradually die. He was a guy who would jog, who had black hair, and at the end of his life, he was skinny, he had gray hair, he was bony, and the last time I saw him, he was breathing going, Ryan, I'm so tired. Well, he was coughing up blood. I'm not trying to gross you out, but that's what happens when you go through cancer. It takes away your body. Well, this dirty, rotten woman from San Diego is accused of faking having cancer and taking donations. And she has pled guilty. And guess what? She didn't get any jail time. You faked something. You took away money from people because of your donations. But guess what? You don't get any jail time. You get probation, which is basically you get out scot-free because she doesn't look like a thug. She looks like a witch. Replace the W with a B. But there really is nothing wrong with the woman. I mean, she's not going to break the law in 3 years unless she does it again. So when you give her probation for faking her act of having cancer, there's something wrong with this. Okay. It says, according to the San Diego County District Attorney's Office, Megan Hudson pleaded guilty to the charges against her on April 30th. Hudson, who was 25, was initially charged with 2 counts of fraud and 2 counts of grand theft, which is from taking the money from the good old GoFundMe website. And by the way, I get that GoFundMe is a great site. It really helps out people who are in need. But someone needs to monitor this website and give more proof. I mean, there are so many scams going on with GoFundMe. It's like anybody can say, oh, I need help. There are plenty of people on GoFundMe that need help. Maybe their kid is sick or their dog is sick or they need help paying the mortgage. But I mean, when you need help paying for the groceries because you're too busy making it rain at the local strip club and not putting food on the table for your kids, then I don't give a rat's ass.
Shut up!
All right, back to the article here. It says several of Hudson's former friends, see that? Former friends, because this dirty, rotten woman lost all her friends. They said she convinced them that she had terminal cancer. Not the cancer where, hey, you might survive. Not the cancer where you're going to die within 30 years and it'll gradually get worse. No. She told everyone she had terminal cancer. What was her greater plan? Was she going to move to Cuba with all the money she had? I'm not sure why I said Cuba. Was she going to move to Mexico or some warm climate and never be seen again? How are you going to get away with this? Because they're going to want to have a funeral. They're going to want to have you in a casket and put you in the ground for your dirt dance. How are you going to get away with this, you dumbass? It says here, her former friends convinced them that she had terminal cancer. The friends believed her hair was so short because it fell out during a round of chemotherapy, just like my dad went through, and it was just growing back. They also believed that she had earned a nursing degree and was a registered nurse, but was unable to work because of the cancer. To me, this is a case of you just want to believe what your friends say. You're not going to be like, can I see your nursing degree? You're not going to be like, can I see some more of your symptoms of your terminal cancer? So you really can't fault the friends whatsoever for thinking this witch had cancer because you want to believe it. It's your friend. You don't want to piss off your friend by saying, I don't think you have cancer. I don't think you're a registered nurse. It's a very weird situation when things like this happen. And here's what a friend said that she claimed she was going around saying, the friend of the person with cancer. She was going around saying she didn't know how long she had to live. Of course she was saying that answer because this witch was lying. This dirty, rotten woman was lying. That's what happens when you're caught in a lie. You just spew nonsense. So Mary, how long do you have to live? Let's see. I don't know. Who wants to watch The Voice? Okay. Back to the article. Some of Hudson's friends got matching tattoos that read "Sing On" in Hudson's handwriting to support her. Oh man. Can you imagine being those friends and you get those tattoos and now you look at it and you're just angry? I don't know if it's on your arm, if it's on your back or your leg, but every day you have to see "Sing On" in her awful cursive and you're just like, oh, I got duped by that witch. 2 friends of hers even shared and shaved their heads. Hudson's family, who doesn't live in San Diego, believed she had cancer as well. I mean, here's what I find bizarre. When I found out my dad had cancer, every Monday and Friday, we lived 30 miles away from White Sox Park. And there's a hospital called University of Chicago, and he would have his friends drive him to get some blood pumped into him, to get checkups, this and that. And that was proof that my dad had leukemia. He did have leukemia. Why is nobody checking in like, hey, can we drive you to the hospital? Can we get you some rice? Can we do this for you? Where's your medicine? We can pick it up at CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens. That's when I'd be a little suspicious. I'm like, where's the paperwork for your hospital? But I guess friends want to believe that their friend isn't duping them. All right. back to the article. It says several of Hudson's friends from high school flew her back to Dayton, Ohio for a fundraiser at a bowling alley. Hundreds of people turned out and they gave tens of thousands of dollars. Oh man. I'm not laughing at them donating money. I'm just laughing. Imagine being her. Like, you know what you're doing is wrong, but like as things keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper, you're just like, oh boy, this isn't going to turn out well for me whatsoever. And Hudson's loved ones felt bad. So they also created an online fundraising page for her, which reached $5,000 from 83 people in a day. Once again, I just cannot imagine being her. You're just like, the money's coming in, but they're not going to just let me splurge on it to get a new car because they're going to want to help pay for the medical bills that don't exist. And then this is where it got good. Some detectives began asking questions because there's like this thing in their mind where they go, where's the medical bills? Why aren't you visiting the hospital? Why isn't your insurance helping pay for the Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS bills of your medicine? Because when my dad had cancer, he took like 10 pills a day. No joke. And here is a quote from her friend. I got really angry and I was like, who does that? Like, who would have the nerve to say that about her? Because, you know, when we were down, she was sick all the time when she was talking about the detectives that were asking questions. Now, listen, I know you want to believe your friend. I know that you don't want this to be possible, that she could be duping you. But when a detective is getting involved, that's when you know something's going on. And you need to believe the signs. I just think this was a case of, there's no way my best friend would take money from me to say that I have something as awful as cancer, this witch. Her friend said the detective told her Hudson confessed to making the whole thing up. Can you imagine that conversation? Hey, this is Detective Jim. Yeah, how's it going? I'm sad to say, but your friend doesn't really have cancer. And I could just imagine if it was in an interrogation room, maybe the cop went to the house, or it was on the phone. But I can imagine it just got dead quiet and you could literally hear crickets in the background, like no joke. Like, what do you say to that? You have bowling events. You get money donated. You drive her around. You do things for her. You probably cook nice warm meals for her. And then you find out that this witch is making things up. I mean, she really dug herself in a hole. It says here, word quickly spread among friends. Oh, I bet there is a group text of all the women because we know women like to chit chat, but that's fine, especially in a circumstance like this. I can only imagine that group text. I really want to see a screenshot of it. It says here, all the people that are fighting for their lives and battling these battles, and for somebody to just make it up is gross amongst itself, said her friend. In August, Hudson's mom put an apology letter on the fundraiser page for her daughter's alleged actions. In red, here's what it said on the page, rather. She has deceived her family and friends into believing she was suffering from multiple myeloma for over a year now. She is not sick. Everything out of her mouth, I went to college, I'm a nurse, I'm this, I'm that. Just lie and lie after lie after lie after lie. Once again, I want to believe that I would believe her when she says she has cancer, but there's something about it where I'm pretty good at sensing when something bad's going to happen, or I'm pretty good when I know something funky is up, or this, or that. And I think I'd get suspicious when her skin isn't turning pale and all she's getting is a haircut every month. And the haircut might be a little off every time. I mean, there's just something about it where I don't think I would believe her. I think maybe I would think she doesn't have the worst cancer and she's using it for her own ability. But I really believe in my heart that I wouldn't fall for it. And her family has a lot to say about it. So here is the news clip from, let's see here, Where is this at? It is ABC 10 News in good old warm San Diego. All right, here's the clip.
We have new developments about this Chula Vista woman accused of faking cancer and then taking donation money. Well, 10 News tracked down her sister, who says she also conned her own family. Reporter Emily Valdez joins us now. And Emily, you actually spoke with the sister. So what does she have to say about all these lies?
Real quick. That is a good point. She literally conned her whole family. And now in life, friends come and go. You go to different cities. Maybe you have a falling out with your friends. You paying your friend's girlfriend. I don't know. Something happens where you lose friendships or they pass away, this or that, and they don't last forever. But the connection you have with your family is everlasting even when you're dead. And she just burned that bridge. I mean, she literally just ruined everything. How can you trust whatever this woman says? How can you trust what Megan Hudson says? If she made up that she had cancer and she went to this length to get money, how do you believe what she says? And once again, I'll go back to my point. How is she not given some type of prison time? She should at least be forced to say on every job application, I faked that I had cancer, which I hope is a part of the probation part that you put on the job application. I wouldn't know. I've never been arrested. I'm a good person.
Well, I can tell you this has been the top story on 10news.com here for most of the day. Viewers outraged at what Megan Hudson of Chula Vista is accused of doing. Her sister tells me she thinks she knows why Megan allegedly pretended to have cancer.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. When you have cancer, you get a lot of attention, deservedly so. When you have cancer, you get a lot of free food, and like I saw with my dad, you get donations, people help you out. I wonder if Megan Hudson was lonely, and this was the way for her to get attention. I have a way you could get attention. Go make a porno or something. I don't know. Do something with your life. That's a really weird example. Go to college. Do something. Actually become a nurse. Don't fake that you have cancer, you dirty, rotten woman. All right, back to the clip. I love how I'm trying not to swear, as you can tell. I'm like, dirty, rotten woman. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. All right.
She shaved her head. She would upload pictures of herself at so-called doctor's offices. She would upload random statuses and pictures saying that she was sick or hurting that day.
Haley.
Go back for a second. How is she getting into the doctor's office? Is she just saying, oh yeah, I'm doing a report. Can I just take a selfie real quick of me looking sick but happy because I'm fighting through the cancer? I just want to hear this one more time. This is really intriguing to me.
Have cancer.
She shaved her head. She would upload pictures of herself at so-called doctor's offices.
I wonder if she worked in a cubicle or something and she made it seem like it was a doctor's office. I mean, once again, when someone says they have cancer, it's something so awful that could literally cause you to die that you want to believe them, that you're not going to be like, oh, you're lying. Oh, screw you. But they probably should have said that since day one.
She would upload random statuses and pictures saying that she was sick or hurting that day.
Haley Hudson is talking about her older sister Megan Hudson of Chula Vista.
I thought those posts on Twitter and Facebook were so obnoxious. Bet the hashtag was like, life is short, but I'm gonna beat it and live. That was kind of a long hashtag. I'm just saying, I could imagine she has these like 4-paragraph posts on Facebook. I'm doing well. Life is hard. But when I watch Friends on TBS, it just cheers me up. I appreciate the support. Here's my GoFundMe account. Pay me right now. Pay me right now.
Shut up!
Haley says Megan conned her family, as well as more than 100 others, into thinking she was dying of cancer. Her family lived out of state. And besides, who would lie about having cancer?
And so it was pretty easy for her to pull the strings and tell us, that she was going to doctor's appointments.
Okay. My dad's brother-in-law, who is my mom's brother, obviously, and he's my uncle, my godfather, he would call the doctor in Chicago at the University of Chicago to ask how my dad, Roy Hoppe, was doing. And he isn't even blood related to my dad. He's related because of my mom, and he loved my dad. And he checked in on them. Why was none of the family members for Megan Hudson checking in, calling the doctor? Why aren't they saying to Megan, what is your doctor's name? Maybe we can find a better one. Maybe we can look at different ones and see which one can help you not die. That's just what's so confusing to me. I don't get why there wasn't more research done for her. I don't get why people just seem to believe her and they're like, oh yeah, she has cancer in San Diego. What's for dinner? Like, why wouldn't you do more research? That's what I find the most confusing about this is it seems like something that you would get caught doing within the first 3 weeks with no proof. I have no idea how it got so far that they had galas for her at bowling alleys. They had GoFundMe accounts. They probably made her meatloaf. I just don't get how people were so gullible. Was she just such a sweetie and her personality was so cute? Because when you look at her, I'm never going to judge a woman's looks. She's not the most attractive woman, but the picture she has with her shaved head, she has this smile where it's like, I'm going to beat cancer. Ugh, enough of you.
Megan's high school friends in Ohio say they flew her back for a fundraiser. Her stepmother created this web funding page. 83 people gave $5,000. Then her sister and her stepmother got this feeling that something wasn't quite right.
Not sure why it took that long, but once again, I'm not going to hate.
Little stuff like the fact that her hair grew back pretty thick, and usually with cancer patients it doesn't.
When my dad had cancer, he always had kind of like flimsy, fluffy black hair. And I remember I felt so bad. His hair kind of came back, but he looked like my 85-year-old grandpa where the hair isn't really gray, but it's kind of there. It wasn't like all of a sudden my dad was back to having his jet black hair. And then when he went in for his second time of chemo, he never got his hair back. So I would be suspicious too. If Megan Hudson's hair is coming back and she has the look of Maggie Gyllenhaal all of a sudden. All right, back to the clip.
Someone made an anonymous call to Crime Stoppers. Megan confessed to friends, family, and reportedly police. It was a web of lies.
Can you imagine that confession? Yeah, I don't have cancer. Yeah, I kind of used the money from GoFundMe. Yeah, I kind of threw out your meatloaf. I mean, I could just imagine the look of horror when you don't want to believe it. And even though the detective ahead of time told you, yeah, Megan's lying about having cancer, you're like, there's no way my sweet daughter, who was a Girl Scout, who was in choir back in high school, there's no way my little angel would lie about having cancer. I could just imagine the room just goes dead quiet. You know what I mean? I would have loved to have been a fly in that wall. Oh my God.
It's heartbreaking. It's a pain that you'll never truly understand unless you go through it, and this isn't exactly a common occurrence.
Haley doesn't.
That's an understatement. I've never heard of a dirty, rotten woman who makes out that she has cancer to have galas at bowling alleys and to get $5,000 on GoFundMe and to get her hair cut at sport clips to look like she has cancer. Yes, this never happens. Man, this is getting me riled up just because my dad died of cancer. It's just, like, how do you look yourself in the mirror, Megan Hudson? I know you most likely won't be listening to Hoppe Hour, but, like, how do you look yourself in the mirror and you're like, I duped people, and there are actually people who have passed away because of cancer, and we don't know if there's an afterlife, so maybe they're gone forever. So how do you look yourself in the mirror and you go, I'm duping the system. I'm a dirty, rotten witch. Ugh, enough of you, honey.
A common occurrence.
Haley doesn't think it was all about money.
It could have been a cry for attention. I don't fully believe it was just about the money. I mean,
if it's a cry for attention, maybe you should do something proactive that would get you attention. Like actually become a nurse, maybe do things like helping out the homeless, maybe losing weight. She could lose a few pounds. Maybe doing some things that would get attention, or maybe talking to your family more, or doing this and that. I mean, this is just plain evil. I mean, she's not Saddam Hussein evil or ISIS evil, but she's not a good person by whatsoever.
I mean, I know she benefited from the money, but I think it was more about the attention that she garnered.
And Megan's stepmother even offered to pay back everyone who donated money on that website.
Well, you would hope so. It's a bad economy. A lot of people are making middle-class money, living paycheck to paycheck. You would hope they'd be paid back after this broad ripped everyone off.
Even though she didn't do anything wrong, the family tells me they have not spoken to Megan in months. And coming up new at 7, a woman who actually shaved her head for...
All right, whatever. Yeah, I mean, doesn't surprise me that they haven't talked to her in months. Like, what do you say? Hey, how's it going? Not having cancer and ripping all of us off and being alone. Dumbass. Alrighty, every time you hear that sound effect, that means that we're going to move on to a different story. Let's just play it one more time. This makes me want to think and go into a valley where there's a creek, you know, and you hear the crickets and the foxes running all over the place. Probably like a creek in like Montana or something in the middle of nowhere. What is life about? All right, enough of that. All right, this next clip is something that seems to be happening a lot. And I don't know if it's because of the increase in the scenarios that you see in pornos when it comes to the kids banging their teachers, and it's more prevalent than ever. But this one takes a different turn. It says teacher taken in after claims that he let the kids in class have sex in the storage closet. Oh boy, it's actually creepier than ever. But here's the thing. It's the male that did it. If it was some hot blonde, we'd all be like, oh, wow, she's kinky. Wow, she's a great teacher. Let's give her an A+ and 2 double D's. But I mean, when it's a guy, we're like, oh, he's gross. This is a bad precedent. I don't care if you're hot Mrs. Smith with a nice pair of double D's and a nice behind, or if you're a middle-aged teacher. You're both creepy as hell. All right, it says here, and this is from Mountain, Georgia. A DeKalb County middle school teacher and coach, of course he's a coach, has been arrested after a mother claims he allowed the kids to have sex in his classroom closet. Bet you there's like a GoPro camera or a webcam or something. You know he's not just letting them bang it out in the closet just for their recreation. You know he's got something on film for it. All right, it says Quentin Wright was arrested Tuesday afternoon and has been charged with 4 misdemeanor counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. That's it? I don't know if that's a sex offender crime or not, but I really hope he'll be on Family Watchdog. It says Channel 2's anchor Tom Regan spoke with the parent Monday, who said, and I'm not surprised that she said that, she couldn't believe what was happening. She says, I was in disbelief when I read all those messages, the mother said, who wants to remain anonymous, obviously. The mother told Regan she looked at her 14-year-old son's phone and discovered a shocking exchange of text messages last Thursday between him and a teacher, Quentin Wright, a math teacher and coach at Champion Theme Middle School in Stone Mountain. And I just realized that this was at a middle school. I'm not saying that it'd be any different at a high school. I'm not saying it'd be any better if it happened at a high school. But these kids are extra young. This is extra creepy. I mean, these kids aren't even formed yet. And you're letting them have sex in the closet? Ugh, you're weird. Here's what the mother went on to say. Basically, he's allowing the kids to have sex. And I find this very creepy. Well, I do too, mother. I said that as if my mom's saying it. It says here, he told my son, you can have it. I'm not laughing at what happened. I'm just laughing. How creepy this text is. It's a middle-aged teacher talking to a 7th grader. Like, Just go back to 7th grade and imagine if you had your teacher's cell phone, number one, and number two, if this was the type of text you'd be exchanging back and forth. Here's what it says. He told my son, you can have it from 7:30 to like 8:30. So, if you get there at 7:32, that's okay, but I kind of want you out of there at least by 8:35, so you have an hour to get the glory on, the morning glory. It also says, did you tell the girl what's going to happen, that she cannot tell anybody? Basically, don't tell anyone, I'm allowing you to use my room. This is creepy because I don't like the part where he's saying, did you tell the girl what's going to happen? It's almost like he's saying, did you explain what sex acts you're going to do or what's going to happen? This vibe is giving me the chills. It's creepy. And I also don't like that he's really specifying, don't tell anybody. It means like, I don't want to get in trouble. I want to keep my job. And I like how he's saying my room, like it's his dungeon. Creep. The mother said the teacher also sent her son a calendar showing teachers' schedules and a text saying he did not have condoms. I didn't even know what a condom did in like middle school. I was a little behind. God, was I a dumb kid. I remember I asked my friend, we were having a sleepover in my room. Man, does this sound like a weird scenario? And I asked him, I'm like, how do I keep this clean? I asked him, what is it called, or what happens when you get orally served? But I didn't say that. And he explained, and my quote was, wow, that sounds kind of icky. Man, was I behind on the pack. For me to call oral servicing icky, I mean, it took me a while to catch on. All right, the mother told Regan she pulled her 8th grader from school Friday and contacted the school's principal and police. She also filed a complaint, which I sure will go in through the system very quickly. The DeKalb County school system removed the 25-year-old teacher from the classroom. This dude's 25? Huh? He looks like he's 40, man. Not sure what he's been doing with his life, but he actually has the Tyrone Biggums look from the Chappelle Show. He almost looks like that character. He's just not cracked out. He sort of looks like if Dave Chappelle just didn't care about how he looked, But then again, I don't think Dave Chappelle cares about how he looks either. It says here, and this is some more of what the mom said. He called me when the kids are at their 8th grade prom and asked if he could come over and take pictures with the boys before the prom, and I said no. If that's not a warning sign, then I'm not sure what is. And the second part, why are 8th graders having prom? I get that you have the high school dances. I get that you have the little grinding sessions where you're having the coming of age, where you're dancing with girls and you feel what it's like, sort of. I'm trying not to be creepy. But, why are they having prom? Because prom leads to you either having sex, you knocking up a girl, you getting drunk, you getting a public intoxication ticket, you going home sad, or you ending up dead. Why are they allowing those scenarios to possibly happen to kids in 8th grade? I just find it very strange that times are changing if you're going to allow 8th graders to have prom. It just seems a little bit early. I mean, 8th graders don't even have low voices yet. They sometimes talk like this. I mean, get the hell out of here. All righty. Let's hear this news clip. I want to hear what they have to say about this middle school teacher in DeKalb County, Georgia, not Illinois.
And tonight with a news alert, Fox 5 has confirmed a DeKalb County middle school teacher is behind bars right now, accused of a truly shocking behavior with students.
What the hell is this music? Did they get this from his playlist on his Apple iPad? Why are you playing this music when you're talking about something creepy like a teacher allowing kids to have sex in the closet? I want to hear this one more time. It's what's with this upbeat techno? It's almost like the intro I used.
And tonight with a news alert, Fox 5 has confirmed a DeKalb County middle school teacher is behind bars right now, accused of a truly shocking behavior with students. Investigators say Quentin Wright exchanged inappropriate text messages with a student.
And that's not all. Investigators say he told his students where they could engage in sex in his Champions Middle School classroom and not get caught.
Here's another point I like. They just said that they were sending texts back and forth. I think things are going to only get worse between the idea of like teachers having sex and the kids, or teachers allowing the kids to have sex at school because of the porn scenarios, and you can get porn anywhere. And when I was in middle school, I had a track phone. I had a flip phone that could barely allow me to play checkers or Tetris. Now kids can do whatever they want on the iPhone. Kids have it easy these days. I'm not saying I'm some old guy. I'm not like, hey, remember the rotisserie phone? I'm just saying it's amazing how things have changed in 10 years.
Information has just come in on this story, and Fox 5's Denise Dillon has everything you need to know.
I went through his phone and I found text messages between him and this coach.
This mom told police she was horrified when she picked up her son's phone and found text messages between her 14-year-old son and a teacher.
Whenever I have kids, it's going to be frightening because I'm 21 now. I mean, would I have kids when I'm 41, 31, 25 if I knock up a girl, even though I won't? I'm just saying, like, it'll be really unique to see how technology grows within that. Because it might be like at a point where you literally have to have your kids have a phone that has no features on it because he was texting his teacher about sex. Good for the mom for checking in. I just see technology taking over and over and over, and things like this just getting worse by the day. The whole teacher and kid scenario is no longer a Ron Jeremy movie. It is no longer a Lisa Ann scenario. It's becoming real. And now that I'm not in high school, it's creepy. Because back when I was in high school, there were a few teachers I had huge crushes on because they were so nice to me when they helped me with my math homework that I found that kind of hot. I'm just being honest. But then when you graduate, you're like, it's kind of creepy if they do have sex with 16-year-olds. I mean, they're underage. All right, before I babble, back to the clip.
DeKalb School police say that teacher is Quentin Wright, a math teacher and coach at the Champion School in Stone Mountain.
Every teacher I've had that I found cute, this is a side note, with a math teacher or a science teacher, it's never the English teachers. It's always the math teachers. I remember my 1 aide, oh my God, was she good looking. Shut up! Okay, back to the clip.
I cried, I couldn't sleep. Again, these are children.
When the mom showed the messages to school police, they launched an investigation. Fox 5 obtained a copy of the criminal arrest warrant for Quentin Wright. The warrant states Wright did willfully encourage a minor under the age of 17 to commit the offense of statutory rape.
There's something about this where I feel like he's recording this and using it for his own personal use or something. Because if he's really encouraging and really pushing for it to happen, this isn't just him trying to help out the kid. I'm not saying it's right to help out the kid, but maybe he was trying to like have the kids get laid or something, which would be absolutely wrong for a old man or for an adult to set it up. I'm just saying there's two ways this could have gone down. The guy could have been too creepy and too friendly, or he could have been using this for his personal use. Does that make sense? I hope so.
The warrant also states that Wright would arrange with minor children times when the classroom would be empty and the storage closet would be available, would provide condoms, and would keep others from entering the classroom.
Don't come in here. We're doing cleaning in here for an hour. Can't imagine how you'd get away with that.
The school has pulled the teacher out of the classroom and has recommended his firing.
What? Let me hear that one more time. I want to make sure they said he recommended, or he has been recommended to be fired. I want to make sure that they didn't say he's been fired immediately. I want to make sure that they said recommended. One second, let's hear this again.
A storage closet would be available, would provide condoms, and would keep others from entering the classroom. The school has pulled the teacher out of the classroom and has recommended his firing.
We take this.
All right, here's the definition of recommending something. Put forward someone or something with approval. What approval do you need when it comes to having a pedophile teacher who is setting up underage teen sex in his closet of his classroom? Who needs the approval that he needs to be suspended? What? It sounds like an episode of I don't even know. This wouldn't even be on a TV show. This is ludicrous. This literally is the movie Idiocracy, when you need the approval to have him suspended or fired. He was setting up underage teen sex in his closet. Pardon my voice cracking, but I'm in utter awe.
Very seriously, we're going to be cooperating with the district attorney's office in the prosecution of these alleged crimes.
What do you mean alleged when you have text messages? At least get rid of them. And if he's innocent, bring him back. And besides getting rid of him, let's say in some world he were to be innocent, wouldn't be the worst thing. You would save a lot on the payroll anyway.
Mom says this should be a lesson for all parents to find out all they can about what happens inside the school.
I just hope that parents start checking their children's phones and tablets and become up to date with technology.
In DeKalb County, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
Thank you, Denise. Okay. Before we get up on out of here, I like that point by her. I hated. My dad used to literally, this was a little bit over the top, I'll admit, but he got the job done. He literally had this software where it was a screenshot of all my Facebook conversations. And now it was me trying to talk to girls, and I was like, hey, what's up? And then they'd be like, how's it going? And I'm like, how are you doing? And then they're like, and I'm like, nothing much. Like, those conversations went nowhere. But my greater point is, my dad always checked what I did on social media. He followed me on Twitter. He literally blocked every website possible. So my dad was always up to date on what I was doing, and it took me till I was a senior in high school for me to have an iPhone. So my point is, I like what she said. When you need to be up to date on what your kids are doing, let's play it again. It's a good idea.
And about what happens inside the school.
I just hope that parents start checking their children's phones and tablets and become up to date with technology.
In DeKalb County.
Because teachers nowadays, or not teachers, parents are too afraid to be disciplinarians. They're trying to be their kids' best friend, sending selfies and emojis and Snapchats back and forth. Whatever happened to being a parent? This has been Hoppe Hour. I'm proud of how the first one went. You like this closing music before we get up on out of here? I actually did a prior Hoppe Hour. Let me check to see what it was called. It was one about Scott Peterson and how he's living a decent life in jail. It was called Scott Peterson is the Worst. So check that out. Man, this music just makes you want to go on a hot date with a girl that's like a 10 out of 10. Take her to Morton's Steakhouse, pay for the meal, buy her whatever she wants. Let's just listen to this for like 7 seconds. Like you go to like a bar that kind of looks like Boardwalk Empire. Like if you're in Cleveland and you're listening to the show, it'd be like the Society Bar where it's like a prohibition thing. It's this music, I love how it ends the show. Okay. If you want to check out more of my shows and what I do, I have two websites. It's hopperadio.com. It has every show on demand that I've done. And you can check out hoppesworld.com, which is my media network of talent. And it's kind of on delay because I have a radio job here in Tampa. So me promoting other radio shows is kind of dead, but it's kind of an archive of what I did. Tweet at me. At Ryan Hoppe Radio. If for some reason you just woke up from a time machine, you want to send me an email, Ryan at hopperadio.com. Sorry, I don't remember my MySpace or my AIM messenger, or I would give you that too. All right. And if you want to listen on demand, download the Hoppe Radio app and tune in. download the Hoppe Radio app on your app shop on iOS. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep, sorry. But if you have an Android, download the TuneIn Radio app and search up Hoppe Radio, and you can listen anywhere. And once again, thank you for listening to Hoppe Hour. Bye.